Hey, we're going live, and it's just me at the moment. I know it's very early there in Canada, so you just have me just for the moment. I'm just setting this up so you can see me in all my glory here with my artificial sunlight here in England, because even though it is July, yes, it's July, I need a little help from my lamp. So I'm trying to be a little bit brighter for you, even though here the weather is a little dull. So how are you doing? It's just me at the moment. We've got Teresa Collins joining us in just 1 second, which means I can talk as much as I like. How about that then? And just before she comes on, she is joining us. She's just doing those ever necessary final touches, as in probably waking up very early there, as I say, in Canada. And here we are with the law of attraction, the 12 trials. We're co-creating with the cosmos. And today, this week, our focus is the hocus pocus of focus. Yes, you heard me correctly, the hocus pocus of focus. And with Teresa out of the way for a moment, I can read to my heart's content, can't I? Hang on, I better put the comments up, hadn't I? Here we are. What comments might we have right now? I know that on Facebook, there was a comment, hasn't come through here at the moment. So what I will do is I shall read a little bit about this hocus pocus of focus, and let's see who joins us. Oh, this is quite good. This is quite freeing, actually. I can say anything I like. Right. My mom used to say to me, probably after she'd said something and I hadn't heard, you hear what you want to hear, don't you? Like, our unconscious is always listening out just to notice what's going on, because it's its job to keep us safe. So this focus of the conscious mind is somewhat different to the focus of the unconscious. So I've just got a comment come through on the phone. I'll see if I can get them to put it live on here for you. There we go. It's live right now. Comment. Thank you. Okay. Hocus pocus of focus. And I did that as a little bit of a theatrical distraction. Yes, there is someone commenting through the phone rather than through the stream here. When our focus is distracted by our environment or by our own thought processes, what happened in the past, what might happen in the future, then that focus is crucial to our co-creation, our manifestation. Even if we're very positive in our own thoughts and how they influence the environment around us, as soon as we say what we're perhaps wanting from life, from the universe, from our own manifestation, if someone doesn't agree with that, like, let's take the stereotypical wanting to win the lottery, and we might be quite positive about that, and our close ones or friends and foes say, well, that's not likely to happen, is it? And although we might say the right words, whatever the right words are, back, and try to maintain that level of positivity, we may be affected by that friend or family member. So I got coffee because I knew that Teresa will be joining us and she'll have her coffee. I'm trying to be in rapport with it being morning over there in Canada. So, what to do? What to do then with this hocus pocus of focus? What to do? in order to help your manifestation. It's important to realize that we're doing it anyway. So whatever we happen to have in our lives right now is a manifestation of the thoughts that have gone before. So what to do? This is under the heading of what to do. What you give your attention to expands. Response attentiveness attracts similar thoughts and experiences, and it's time to notice. Spend the entire day only focused on the positive aspects of life. Now, Teresa and I say, this stuff is simple. These steps, these 12 trials, are simple. They're simple steps. And we can talk about them quite easily to each other and laugh about them and say how things have worked out for us and how they haven't. Though they're not easy. Simple and easy are two different things. Maintaining one's positive stance in the face of others' negativity and our own. And when I say negativity, what I really mean there is them not agreeing with that which we want to create. Yeah, there's all sorts of messages coming here. Oh, hello, Andy. Nice to see you there. Somebody brave enough to comment on the live stream, I see. Thank you very much. So what you give your attention to has a tendency to expand. That hocus pocus of focus, to focus on something that is positive to you, that lifts your spirits and that you can look forward to, is critical. So we know what to do. Now, why to do it? For what reasons? Why are we coming on here and talking to you guys through this wonderful technology? Why to do it? How you feel in any given moment governs your thoughts and your actions. You may have lots of plans to improve yourself and your circumstances, but if you are not in the mood, they will not happen. You may think that an ailment will cause you great pain or discomfort. So it does. And that's an interesting thing. My friends and family know that if I need to go to the dentist and have my teeth drilled, I don't want any anesthetic. I'll use my own hypnosis. As we believe something is going to hurt, then it hurts. Small children demonstrate this to us. They might fall over in the park, and I've seen it happen, and they bang their knees, and they're just about to get up and carry on playing, and then they look down and see blood. And then folks, the child goes, ah, once they see that it ought to hurt, or some loving carer or parent rushes up to them, scoops them up, and starts to give them all that loving. So if we think things ought to hurt, then they do, and they can hurt 10 times more than the physical injury denotes that it ought to hurt. And we do all this in hypnosis, but this carries through to our co-creating with the cosmos. So the more you focus on relief, the more relief you feel. Again, we do these kind of demonstrations with hypnosis, as I am Hypnowoman. We do these kind of things where you can focus somebody's attention on being calm and relaxed whilst you are pinching their face. It's actually part of our course. It's called glove anesthesia. What we do is we ask the person to create and promote a sensation of calm and comfort in the hand, and in trance that hand drifts up and rubs on their cheek. Then very tentatively, because even people who are learning hypnosis on the course with me, they'll very gingerly go up to that person and pinch their face, so much so that you'll see the nail marks on the cheek, though the person doesn't flinch at all. And when they come out of trance, they will say that they might have felt a little pressure, but certainly not the pointy pain that would be usually felt by nails. And think about it, if you're asleep or dozing off in the chair and even a fly lands gently on your face, you'll flinch and probably waken. Certainly you'll do this sort of thing. So the more you focus on relief, the more relief you feel. The more you focus on anything, the more it becomes, and the more you may think about desperately wanting something, the more you focus on the absence of it right now. So in the wanting of something, you are focused on the absence of it. So a lot of this metaphysical stuff where people say, just think about the thing that you want. Wanting is one step away. So wanting something and having something are two different things. We've talked before that when you have something, you kind of stop appreciating it. You kind of forget all the wanting that came before and all the appreciation of the thing before you had it. And as soon as you have it, it's a different vibe. It's almost in the having of it and the letting go of the wanting that the thing arrives. How to do it? Do you want to know how? Andy, do you want to know how to do it? Find every positive in your life and focus upon it. For example, I'm awake and the sun is shining with a warm glow, or it is raining, giving life to the plants and the trees. I love the taste of my breakfast. My car is so reliable. My bed is so comfortable. My family and friends are so supportive. So the list goes on, but of course, it's about what you appreciate in that moment rather than any item from a list that I might give you. Focusing on what you appreciate in life, focusing upon the good that is already there will bring more to you. So you can, of course, imagine what focusing on the absence of something does for you too. So focusing on what is already active, what is already in your vibratory sphere, if you like, because everything has vibration, will bring more of that to you. Focusing on the absence of it, or indeed on whatever is going wrong with you and your life right now, will attract more of that to you as well. How will you know when you've passed the test? How will you know when you've passed that trial? Well, in your notebook, you'll have a list of at least 20 positive aspects of your day. And as I say, those things that are already manifest, that at one time you really wanted and needed, you perhaps don't appreciate. So this is going to take quite a lot of hocus pocus. You have a roof over your head, you have food to eat, you have a very powerful device in your hands, most probably, that 20 years ago you would have paid a fortune for and would have been much larger. Noticing those little things, expressing gratitude, not only to the universe at large, but an appreciation of your ability to have drawn that towards yourself, whether you've worked hard for it or it was given to you, or a coincidence happened, somebody was upgrading their phone and they happened to give it to you. Who knows? You do. And you'll be able to let me know and start to appreciate the things in life that you have already. And it's okay to want something bigger, brighter, more fabulous than you have right now. Though in the appreciation of what is already here, you'll be in that vibe. You're constantly sending out a vibratory signal to the universe. And this is very different to showing off. Showing off or boasting consciously to others is usually kind of wanting other people to make you feel good about you having something. So tonight you'll have a list of 20 positive aspects of the life you're currently living. I could make it even harder and say 20 positive aspects about your body, 20 positive aspects about the work that you do. But no, I've really generalized it here. And it shouldn't be that hard to do. Shouldn't say shouldn't, can't say can't. That was why I had that little trip up there. Now, do you want to know the trials, tips and tricks? What will change for you? You'll notice genuine smiles and the help you receive from others, or a kind comment or action. Quite often you see those things pass us by, or we, as Teresa pointed out in the first of this series, she gave me a compliment and I just carried on. I was busy thinking about the next thing to say. It's important to notice these things because 95% of the thoughts you have today, they say you'll have tomorrow. And as it's our thoughts that create our reality, that send out that beacon, thoughts and feelings are intrinsically linked. You can think without acknowledging the feelings. You can feel without acknowledging the thoughts. And thoughts are typically pictures which we interpret linguistically. So this idea that others have of visualizing, making a picture of something is fabulous. Though you need to identify with the essence of it. What vibration is it giving out? How will that enhance your life? Okay, I'll carry on with the book then, just before Teresa comes. So you'll see these positive aspects written in your book. You connect positive focus with an enhanced life experience. You feel better and are less negatively affected by others. And some people make more effort to convince you of how bad life is. Have you noticed that? Or they can avoid you completely, whilst others comment positively to you and enjoy being with you more. You recognize that you create your reality by way of where your focus lies in any given moment. And, our focus is drawn continually from our environment, isn't it? We're bombarded with information. A lot of that is invited and some of it is not. And it's hard to engage in the world without being bombarded by stuff. So the more you put a positive slant on things, the more that positivity will come to you. So Teresa's just making coffee at the moment, folks. I already have mine. She'll be with us shortly. Which thoughts and feelings dominate your vibration? Excuse me, that's my coffee. Which thoughts and feelings dominate your vibration? If you are usually or more often than not in a negative, so that might be angry, irritable, sad, lethargic, in a negative mood, at work or with a particular friend, during a telephone conversation with a particular person, or whenever you think of money, then stop it. Tricky, isn't it? Because you never stop thinking, even in your dreams. Notice in the following paragraph how one thought can connect to many others and spiral downwards quickly. Thoughts gather momentum at the speed of light. Are you sitting comfortably? For example, it could be said that you're feeling low about not having enough money. Therefore, your dominant vibration is one of lack. These thoughts and feelings about lack lead to feeling that you are not appreciated at work, else they'd pay you more, or that your spouse spends far too much of your hard-earned money, which you would like to spend on other things, which may cause you to resent the holiday plans because you shall have to work so hard to make that money back, and maybe causes you to think you don't want to buy that car, that new car, so you convince the family to put up with the rusting, unreliable one. Every bill that comes your way, you may feel you struggle to pay, and you begin to get irritated with those who share your life in your home because they are wasting electricity, etc. Maybe you've been disliking that job for some time and your unconscious is trying to influence you to start a business or get a new job that interests you more and may pay more. In the above case, you could step into feelings of dissatisfaction, which originate in the job you won't give up, but which also get superimposed upon your relationship, and suddenly nobody can please you, no matter what they do. You're just so hard to please. You could instead feel unappreciated, which originates in a promotion you did not get, though shows up in you feeling that you are taken for granted by others and that you emanate despondency. Note to self, always put your phone on silent before you do a live stream. Okay, right. There's lots of examples here, but what we really are talking about is a vibration that you give out. That vibration is affected by your thoughts. You could wake up in the morning full of the joys of spring, though something may happen in your reality that you cannot help but engage with. In that engagement, you could be negatively affected by whatever is happening. So the vibrational reality is present tense. Have you heard the term the point? Oh, strange. The technology is playing up. I learned in 1994 with the Louise Hay teacher training that I was on. Point of power is in the present moment. So it's what you're thinking right now that creates an emanation, a vibratory state that gets broadcast out to the universe. So it's where we are in the present moment. If we're dwelling on the past and blaming the parents, it's really going to work to our detriment in how we broadcast that signal out to the universe, which is creating our tomorrow. The power is now. If you're feeling despondent, your vibration is sending out that signal now to go and collect more of the same towards it. It's like your thoughts are magnetic, folks. Once you're in a despondent mood, you, in your own mind, will attach more feelings of despondency towards you by reflecting on those in the past and worrying about those in the future. I'm just going to check up on this Teresa. Should have got a coffee by now. Let's have a... Let's see if we can contact her, hey? I'm not even sure if I'm actually broadcasting at the moment. The technology has played up that much. I'm just going to have a sneaky peek over there in Facebook and see if all hell breaks loose or if it's actually coming through. Oh, it looks like it. There we are. Yes, there's me. Hello, me. And I'll come back now to StreamYard. Oh, there she is. Oh, I am getting fed up with the sound of my own voice, Teresa. There we are. Hello.
Jennie Kitching. I love and adore you.
Oh, thank you. I've got my coffee.
You're
I'm
an
so
hour. You're an hour early.
You're kidding.
No.
It's 3:00.
For you and I to visit.
Oh my goodness. Should I end this now?
No, you were amazing. You know why? Because you didn't even wait for me. You're like, fuck it. She's late. That's fine. I will do this. The show will go on and we will continue.
I don't want to let any of our many watchers down, our many viewers.
They're still in bed. So guess what, guys? We're an hour early. So Jenny, I can't tell you how much I love you. I went on I did a live saying that we'd be there in 45 minutes. And then it says, Hypnowoman is live on Time to Shine. I'm like, did she hijack it?
Well, I got 3:00. What? I've got to sort this out in my head.
Yes.
3:00 I'd got on here. So 3:00
Yes.
was for us to meet. And 4:00 English time was when you're going live in Canada. I see. Okay. Well, I'll just let you talk for another hour. There we are.
Okay, cool. No, but I cannot tell you as like a partner and a friend, like how much I love and adore you. You didn't cancel. You didn't stop it. You were like, oh, well, okay. And away we go.
Well, when I got that message from you that you'd be there at 20 minutes, and I thought, okay, you're just having a little snooze. That's fine. I'll just hold the fort in that true British manner. Here's me, my stiff upper lip, holding the fort until you join me. And
you are amazing.
If it wasn't for Andy, I think I might have given up.
Oh, Andy?
Oh, yes, we've got a comment here from Andy. I know there was a comment on Facebook, and it's not come through. And
okay.
I forget which Facebook page it was on. I'm sure it must have been Time to Shine. But anyway, I'm sick of the sound of my own voice now, and I'm just going to let you talk.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. I am up. I've got my coffee, so we're good.
It's really early there, isn't it?
It's really early here. It's like 7:30 now. So
what a wake-up call for you. I'm so sorry.
Are you kidding? It was fantastic, Jen. I cannot tell you how much it lit up my heart. I was like laughing so hard when I seen it, because in the past, and I love everyone in the past, but previously I've had partners that would have just bailed. They sure wouldn't have kept going, taking the lead. Like, I think you're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. So thank you, darling. What did I miss? What did I miss in my own show? You know what's so funny? Tommy always says you'll be late for your own funeral, but I was just late for my own show.
Well, you actually weren't late. I was early, as we've now deciphered this whole vibratory mess.
But you know what's lovely? Were we late, or did we show up exactly when we're meant to? Right.
Well, it meant I was able to just talk to my heart's content about my book,
yes.
Without interruption.
Yes, and to share what, I really have been seeing this proven over and over again. I'm going to do some cards this morning too. I was guided to do. Good. Excellent. But I've been seeing this proven over and over again. You arrive exactly when you're meant to. It's really, really amazing. My husband's always picking on me, though, because he's always freaking out about being early. And I'm always like, nah, we'll get there.
Well, I must say, I've never had evidence of that. You've always been bang on time for whatever we've been doing. So maybe I've got to see that in the future. But at this moment in time, everything has always been perfect. And I must stress, I'm the one that's early.
Oh, that's okay though. Everything is perfect. Everything is awesome. And it's always lovely that I connect with people that are early. So they keep me on task. So yeah, no, I was guided to do some cards for everyone here. Let me just share. And I got to tell you, Jenny, I have had an incredible week. Okay, we're going to talk tough though. They want to talk tough this morning. The card, what is victim mentality? Oh. So when we're talking about co-creating,
don't come here with any of that bad news. We're on a positive vibe.
Not bad news. It's a reality. It's kind of a reality check, or not really. Maybe it's a question. Are we saying, poor me? How come I can't have that? How come the Jones have it and I don't? And coming from this idea of manifesting, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
When we are searching for things just because we're comparing ourselves to others and we don't think that we deserve it.
Or even comparing ourselves to our past self. I've been editing all these, we do an online hypnotherapy course, folks, and I've been editing all these videos that we've been doing together, Teresa. And the one I was editing today, which was in the middle of your night, by the way, I was working in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, you are amazing, girl. You are amazing. Actually. But if you think of the efficiency of the two of us, damned.
Yeah, we can keep the whole world awake. We can't we?
We can just keep going.
New York, eat your heart out. We never sleep.
We never sleep. I love it. Okay, so editing in the middle of the night.
And I was watching the how when we work together, we pull each other up, don't we? We say, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. And if we pull each other up, we know it's going to be useful to people that are watching. And the one thing that I said was about something that I can't do now, physically can't do. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I moaned about it, really. But I know you pick up on the vibration very easily. So I said, oh, there's this thing that I can't seem to do for very long anymore. And you said, oh, what a shame. And I bet you used to do gymnastics too. Yes. So now things have changed. So Jennie, your focus is on other things. As things change and our body changes, etc., it's marvelous, really, isn't it, Teresa? Because we get to focus on the next thing, the things that we are capable of, that we can excel in now, rather than lament the past and the stuff that we used to do that probably we didn't enjoy as much as we thought. But looking back, we seem to glorify it, and that sends out a feeling of loss and separation in the present moment, which of course then brings more of it to us.
Right. And I experienced this personally this week. It's funny because they're showing me this as we're talking. And my husband and I redid our bedroom a couple, 3 weeks ago. And in order to do that, I just shoved everything in bags and put it into the spare room. Well, now I want to put a new couch in the spare room. So I have been whining, and I'm going to say whining because I'm going to own myself, whining because I don't have enough time to get to it. And I have so much to do, and I can't even do that room. Well, for some reason,
can I hold you there, Teresa?
Yes.
You would do for me. Is that, we don't like to say it, do we? We don't like to consciously recognize this. But in the saying of it to somebody else, see, it's easy for me because I've got nobody to moan to.
Yeah.
It's easy for me. So I have to moan to myself in my own head and own it in a different way. In that saying of the dilemma that you happen to be in, is that a kind of cloaked request for help?
It is, but it was unnecessary. And this is where it's really interesting because I didn't think I could do it on my own because it was too big, too much, too. And I was motivated now because I wanted to put a new couch in this room. And all of a sudden, magically, in between 4 clients yesterday, I had 4 clients, by the way, I was able to clean that room, get rid of probably about 5 bags to the thrift store, and get to the back of it in a way so that the boys could take the couch out.
Whoa, Wonder Woman.
Insane. Honestly, it was crazy. But I stopped whining about it, figured out how I could do it, So I started being focused on the solution, and I was properly motivated.
Yes.
So before I wasn't properly motivated. So I was sitting in this because I just didn't have the right motivation.
Well, this is creation at its best, isn't it? Because, and I am guilty of this myself, wanting something, not something physical, but something to work out exactly the way I want it to work out for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I want happiness for this person. I know what's best for this person. Don't we always know what's best for everybody else? I know what's best for this person, and they don't seem to want it, and they ought to want it, and they ought to want it in this particular way. And why don't they have the and so that kind of I watched a film the other night where somebody wanted desperately something for somebody else, one step removed, and yet they were able to step back from it and get creative about how to represent that suggestion to them so that they took more ownership and credit for creating their own reality rather
Right.
than that person doing it for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I love it.
Creative spin on things. Okay, so I want this room tidied. I want this to happen, and nobody will help me. And so I've got to do it myself. And so getting more creative about how to encourage and enlist that help.
Right.
So that they feel a sense of satisfaction in co-creating with you rather than being told what to do.
Yeah.
Because nobody really likes being told what to do they?
Yeah, that's really a big switch, Jen. You're absolutely right. Because when I was in there and motivated, I did get the help. But because I wasn't bossy babe and saying, do this, do that, which was what I was trying to do the last 3 weeks. It wasn't happening. But because I was in there and inspiring, everybody else was hopped on the bandwagon. They couldn't help it.
Oh, Teresa, that's the word, isn't it? Inspiring, which of course comes from in spirit, inspiring, yeah. When you can inspire others. You see, myself in the past, people think we were born knowing all this stuff, and maybe at some level of our being we were. Though conscious Jennie, many years ago, would have gone through what you've just described, and at the point where I'd be upset because nobody was going to help me, then others, out of pity, would probably then say, all right, we'll do it now then. And you know what I would have done? You know what past Jennie would have done? No, I don't want to do it now. I've decided to do something else. No, it's okay. It's okay. Fine. It's all right. It's all right. You don't really want to help me, do you? I exaggerate. Not much, but I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, no, I've definitely played that role before. I definitely have played that role before. Or then fine, I'll just do it myself.
Oh, yes.
That's martyr
though. Comes in. We don't really enjoy the tidiness then, do we? Or the new couch, because we've had to slave. And the whole issue here, I don't know if this agrees with your card, Teresa, is that when we do things ourselves, even though we've got our lovely room all sorted and shiny and fabulous, we've still got that gap in our reality. We've still got that gap in our hearts that nobody helped me do it. Yeah. Nobody really loves me. We haven't got that. We've got the satisfaction of the place, the physical manifestation, but not the satisfaction of the co-creation with people in our reality, which is really what it's all about. We're not here alone. We're here to co-create, not just with the cosmos, the universe, but with our fellow souls that we are closest to. And if we don't feel that closeness and that collaboration, and they don't understand us, it's far more about helping us as a being on all levels rather than moving a bit of furniture, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's part of where it comes in that victim too, because we feel that sense of rejection when we've asked for help sometimes and it doesn't happen. But we have to just take a step back and find the motivations, find the inspiration, and then others will join or they won't. But at the end of the day, you'll be doing it for the right reason. So now that will be a representative of pride as opposed to another thing we had to do on our own. Right? So when we come back to that motivation and inspiration, that'd be my thing for the day, motivation and inspiration.
I've heard a few people say actually lately, with other live streams I've done, they've said things like, and this hasn't been the focus, of course it's been other things, but I've noticed it crop up. So it must be a thing in the air at the moment. They say, well, if I don't do it, nobody will. So they end up doing it. And they know that people in their reality rely on them being irritated at something not being done, because they know in that irritation they're going to do it. So why should they do it? They're just going to sit on the sofa. They just rely on the irritation. And, it's come up a few times, actually. So I'm just nipping over to Facebook.
And it is a thing in my life. There was one piece of my husband's beautiful puzzle that I asked him to do, and I could have done for him. And I even thought, you know what, I could probably do that. And then I had that little voice going, no, just wait. So it's about patience, I think. Some of us are type A personality living with the other type. And it's our lesson to learn to wait and allow them to live their path. Because the next card we have is honoring the path. So we all have our own path that we're following. If we keep jumping in and helping others, we're not allowing them to live their path either, right?
Well, that's another interesting thing, Teresa. This has happened to me a couple of times where someone has said to me that by me helping the other, I've kind of blocked the help that would be coming to them in other ways. And I'm less able as a personality, wanting to control events and make everybody feel better. I'm far less able to help that one person than the whole of the rest of the cosmos combined, of course. And so by me wanting to help, desperately wanting to help and trying to control events and to get something for somebody that I know they need, that they won't receive from me anyway, because they've got that focus. I know you can't afford it, Jennie. I know you can't afford it. I'm not going to keep your money for yourself. And so I've been told, and is this true? As I'm asking you, as you're the spiritual mystic, the scientific mystic, is it true then that me wanting to help another so desperately because I'm conscious of their well-being, that I'm blocking other avenues for them where that thing could come to them by coincidence, by somebody not needing that item, or etc., etc.?
So this is where the matrix gets a little funny, because if you believe that everything is meant to be, then that was meant to be anyways. So even if you did block it, wasn't it really meant to be? So as long as you come from this intention of love and light, which you always do, I know you're an amazing human, that in itself was a lesson maybe for them and you. So even if you did so-called block it, it's lessons that we're learning. So it's funny because I worked with a lot of people yesterday, and it's not necessarily a block. These aren't necessarily things that are happening. These could be just quizzes. So the universe comes along and sends us quizzes like they did in school and says, okay, well, this is what you've learned so far. How are you going to use it? And how are you going to do it differently?
Do you know what I've just realized, Teresa? In the past, in that particular situation, which there's been many, learn your lesson, Jennie. I think what happened was when I wasn't able to do something for this person and I stepped back, then magically they got what they needed from another source. And then guess what I did in the past? Oh, you don't need me then. Okay, then.
That's where the rejection comes in.
In the past.
No, but it's that, but that again happened for a reason. It wasn't right or wrong. It happened so you could see the difference. It happened so you could understand that didn't serve me. I'm not gonna do that. Now I'm gonna say, you know what? That's awesome. You got the help. I adore you. I'm gonna spend my energy here.
I reckon, I'm quite hot on this idea of ease. And every time I say the word ease, you kind of pick up on it, that ease of manifestation, because life isn't supposed to be this hard. Life is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to be enjoying each other's company a lot more, with a lot less.
Right.
We're typically looking for stuff to make us feel better rather than each other's company. And I think this was a trust situation with me, Teresa. I think that it wasn't about somebody else providing the thing. A complete stranger comes along and says, I don't need this thing. Do you want it? Oh, I've been struggling to save up to buy that for you. A trust issue where I now can step back and trust the universe, the cosmos, God, Goddess, all that is, to provide, not just for them, but for me too.
Yes. Oh my goodness, girl.
Back and to trust that I am looked after, I am cared for. Things do happen.
It's amazing. And you know what? I thank you so much for bringing that up, because it is a lot of times about stepping back. I've been guided in my business that I'm supposed to take the majority of August off. Now, this is an amazing thing in theory, but in Teresa's reality, who likes to micromanage everything and do all these little things, how could this possibly be? And they have literally blocked. I'm not allowed to see anything happening in September. If there's channeling coming on August, it stops in August, because I'm not supposed to think about business. So, and they're going to teach me that my business is going to thrive and grow on its own, because I've already created the seed. It has the forward momentum as I have a life. As I step back, enjoy the family, I'm going to enjoy my kids. My husband and I are going to do a little trip. So this lesson they're teaching me right now is to step back and trust them. I'm giving them the reins. They're going to continue to co-create. I've put enough seeds out there. I've talked enough. I've said enough. I've got enough videos. My job in August is to not do business.
I'm just noticing your own micro expressions about how you feel about that, Teresa.
Totally freaking out. But it's a wonderful way. It's fantastic. I've been given a vacation by the universe.
I'm leaving the gap. I really want to fill it, but I'm leaving the gap.
But I've been sprouting this, and they're calling me to live authentically and to really believe it. I say these things: do your job, and then allow the universe to do it for you. And now they're saying, this is your quiz, do it. And I will take emergency sessions. I've known that. I've already put that in there. But I'm supposed to just take my time off. I've been working really, really hard, probably for about 4 years now. And it's time to just allow them to take the reins.
I do understand that, because I said yesterday in a live stream that I retired at 50. I didn't really intend to, but it was kind of an enforced retirement, because I was working be careful what you wish for, folks. Really.
Or be aware of what you're manifesting.
Yes. I want lots and lots of clients. I want back-to-back clients. I want to fill this busy practice. I want to do all these seminars. Yes, and I did. And I was teaching so many people how to relax. It wasn't kind of time for me to relax. So I went for a month to my favorite little Greek island, and we ended up staying there. And I was able to work from home and to do various things and write all these books, etc. Though I realise now, and what people perceived and what was actually right, that I kind of went into semi-retirement. Some clients thought and they used the term abandon them. When you abandoned us, oh, okay. So I recognise now, through circumstance, maybe intervention of universal forces, whatever, that I retired at 50. And after sitting on a beach for a long time, I wanted to work again, but I wanted to work in a new way, like you say, more authentically, and with time for me. With time for me as well, for it to be balanced, because, I'm a bit of a giver. It was time to give in a more measured, a more clever way that serves everybody, including me. This, as you've said to me, Teresa, if you don't learn your life lessons, they kind of get thrust upon you. And one way that happens, to just get a little bit serious with you guys, is through illness. We get these messages, we get these signals, we get these little warning signs. And then if they're not picked up, the last way you can be communicated with, I say the unconscious, there's all sorts of levels of mind. What will happen is the body itself will. I think you get warning signs from the reality that you're in. Something isn't working out, then another thing isn't working, then the plumbing goes wrong, and then the electric, and you get all these kind of signals in your reality. And then finally, when you're still stressing trying to make it all work, the body itself then gets corrupted, and you think, okay, if you're not going to stop, we're going to make you stop. It's the ultimate encouragement, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's such a good point, Jen. Like we didn't come here just to work like workhorses. We came here to enjoy all of the things. The time for self, the time with family, the time to connect, the time for nature, the time to work. But it's all of the things. And it's one thing that I have totally been striving for. And now they're giving it to me. They're like, are you going to step up? Are you going to do it? And I am going to step up. So,
I want to tell you about, you asked me what I was talking about.
Yes, tell me more.
As you were slumbering, quite rightly.
Lounging. We'll say lounging. I wasn't quite slumbering, but lounging.
It was the hocus pocus of focus. And as I've already given my spiel about what we focus upon tends to draw more of it to us. And that's the bad stuff as well as the good. And that's a perception of mind, of course, because everything is just as it is. What we focus on tends to draw more of it to us. I want to tell you about my quilt. Duvet.
Tell me about your duvet.
In Canada as well?
Yes, we have a duvet.
So I bought a duvet, and I like a feather duvet. And for years now, years, I've been using this feather duvet, which is much too hot at the moment. Because although we're not getting the sunshine, it's still warmer than usual. It's the warmest it will ever be in England. It's the middle of July. Come on. So I've got this very hot quilt on. And without the quilt on, I'm freezing. And with the quilt on, I'm too hot. And so it goes on from there. Because we've had this discussion, just to make this a little bit more interesting for our viewers. I've had this discussion with several ladies, and I've got one friend who suggested that one sleeps naked. And she said she wouldn't because it's far too rude to sleep naked. But okay, so I tried that, didn't I? I tried that. And because, it's coming. All of those little feathers, millions of the little buggers, seem to work their way through the quilt cover. And I must have had dreams about being attacked by millions of daggers. It's the most uncomfortable night I've ever had in my life. And I kept moving, hoping it would dislodge some of the feathers so that the pointy end wasn't going to attack my skin like a pincushion. But it didn't happen. I've had a terrible night's sleep. However, what I'd forgotten about is that I have another quilt, which is beautifully soft, and which, as I was fighting with the bed this morning, and I was looking under the bed, and I was doing this and I was doing that, I found this quilt that I hadn't used because I like a feather quilt. And so this other quilt, this is very thin and very lightweight, that I thought was not going to be good enough to use from day to day. I suddenly found it, and Thank you, universe. I'm going to have a really good night's sleep tonight without fighting with the millions of little daggers. Isn't it the same way, Teresa, that once you notice the first little irritation, oh, that's a bit sharp, oh, I'll just move, isn't it? Then you notice the next one and the next one and the next one. And before you know it, you're just completely focused on being punctured by a million little tiny sharp feathers poking through the quilt. And I could have got up and done something about it, but no, I was going to suffer. I was going to put up with it, wasn't I?
Right.
Which meant that the whole of the night I was tossing and turning and had a terrible night's sleep rather than doing something else. You see, this is kind of a metaphor, a living metaphor about putting up with irritation rather than doing something about it, moaning and groaning even to oneself rather than thinking, what can I do about this? There were things I could have done, but no, I didn't. I just decided to be irritated.
Yeah. And the universe will make you really irritated when they want you to change. It's not coming, it's coming in your highest good. Sometimes we have to get really, really, really uncomfortable to get up and look for that new solution. Because if it's just kind of uncomfortable, we'll just stay in the same state, even though it's not the perfect state, even though it's not the best state or the highest good state or the most comfortable state, we'll stay there because it's what we know.
We kind of get comfortable with our own irritations, don't we?
Yes.
And then we talk to somebody else about it and then they agree how terrible it is. And we kind of then get more comfortable rather than talking to somebody who's got the solution because it's all right for them with their
right there. Okay, Jen, I got to say, I'm sorry, everybody. I love you all. Friends are good, but coaches are better because that's what friends do. They re-anchor the irritations and they anchor it in. Yes, you're right. That's terrible. But you don't make a change where you see somebody like Jennie and I, and we're like, is there something else you could do? And then you start to see the solutions. Right.
Did we have another card or are we still talking?
Oh, yes, we have another card. And the last card is peace.
Oh.
So when we stop playing the victim, we start honoring our own paths, then we shall reach the peace. The peace, the peace, the peace. Ah! Oh, it's just such a lovely card too. She's swinging in the clouds.
Oh, look at that.
So, and I like this idea of swinging, this childlike, just being free. We're gonna go over time today, guys, because I was late. So, and hopefully some people that were expecting me at 8 can get the whole deal. So if you were just joining us at 8 o'clock, Jennie was early, I was late, or whatever happens. Time is kind of interesting and bendable. But we're here now. So if you have any questions on Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus. Feel free to share them. We're going to talk for about 20 minutes. And if you just grab the replay, then, and you missed us, just feel free to leave a question. I will, this episode only, I will go back and answer the questions if you'd like, because we had this time challenge. So, and if you want to just say private message or in the group, actually, yes, just let me know. So if it's something private and you want to ask for this only, and I say this only just simply from time perspective, because otherwise I'm going back over lives over and over again. If you want to leave a question, we will answer it and be happy to help you manifest and co-create in your life. Today, Jennie and I are really talking about the day-to-day idea. And we had some cards, so if you want to go back and watch the replay, that were pretty spectacular with the outcome of peace. Peace. And while Jennie has got me on the spot, I'm going to do one last one. Oh, and this is taking steps. So how do we do this, folks? Well, guess what? We're on the trials of the law of attraction. We're learning how to take steps to reach this castle. Look at this. I love this. The princess is taking steps to get there. And I don't know about you guys, but when I was a baby, when I was a little girl, I always pretended that I was a princess. Something about being a princess, and I would pretend like my dad was the chauffeur and that my sister and I were being driven around our kingdom, and we would look at all the beautiful things, all the things that were a part of our environment. I loved this idea, right? And it was such a great things to do. It was just like, and I would dream of horses, and I would like pulling up this inner childhood, imagining your kingdom, imagining where you're going, imagining your castle, Jen. Like, this is fun. Get into the fun of it, guys. Everybody manifests so seriously.
I was never very good at that.
My sister was so much fun to play imagination with. She really was. So we had a lovely time. I'm going to pause. So it's been a good talk. I think we lost Andy a while ago. So it's pretty much like you and I just talking all the time.
No, we've got 4 watchers. They're just not brave enough to talk to us at the moment. And we are very early. And being as we're on the Canadian Facebook group, I don't expect everybody's going to be up as bright and early and bushy-tailed as you, Teresa, but they'll be watching it later. So there's still value here in us talking about our stuff.
Does answer that question. Do I jump out of bed like this? Do I jump out of bed this damn excited? Yes, I do. Thank you very much. I got to tell you, it took me a lot of time to get to this point. I didn't always jump out of bed this excited. But I figured if I wanted to have an exciting life, I had to start it like that. And you know what's so funny? Okay, so yesterday, my husband was picking on me. Those of you who know Tommy understand how cool this is. Jenny, stop making me the focus of attention. And I was bragging about all that is me. I was like, oh, I got rid of 4 bags at the restaurant. Aren't you proud of me? I'm so proud of me. And at some point, he's like, aren't you modest? And I'm like, no, I think modesty has left me. And then I said, but I'm humble. I'm really humble. I'm very proud of how humble I am.
Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble.
But you know what's funny?
In every way. Yeah.
This is, okay, so, and I may be off tracker. I could be, guys, do your own thing. But what I realized is, why shouldn't I be my best cheerleader? Why shouldn't I do things every single day that I am so freaking proud of?
Well, we've noticed, haven't we, that once we lift our vibration, because the hocus pocus of focus is all about engaging with what you already appreciate and love about what's in your reality, and broadcasting that out to anybody who'll stand still long enough, but particularly to yourself, because as we said, 95% of the thoughts you have today, you'll have tomorrow. So what's happening right here in the present moment is creating your tomorrow. So glorify the situation that you happen to find yourself in, even if somebody else says or talks it down. Oh, that thing, that's an old, that dress you're wearing, they're going to do that. And so we have to be our own cheerleader. And then what happens is that's contagious, and the person that we're with suddenly gets swept along on that wave and think, oh yes, life isn't as bad as I thought it was, because here we are, we're rising up onto that higher vibration.
And the right people start looking for things to share that they're proud of too. So initially, I did have the people that were like, oh, aren't you the greatest? Because they were looking at their own deficiencies. But then I started collecting the people that were like, oh my God, and you know what? I did this last week and I felt so good too. And I did this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do my room now. Look at that was. So now part of it is like getting over this limiting belief that pride is a sin. I'll tell you, this is a big deal. And then shouting from the rooftops, because being conceited and being inspiring, the difference is, I think, the act of it. Right? People that are conceited think they're all that in a bag of chips, but they're not actually doing anything about it. People that are inspiring and that inspire me are the people that are actually living the lives.
Well, I've got a little game that I used to play on my in-person courses. Do you want to play?
I want to play. Let's play a game. Let's play a game, Jenny.
It's called the 20-second technique. And it's just 20 seconds. So I've got my timer here. And I know you're going to be absolutely brilliant at it. And I'm not sure how I'm going to be at it because I'm usually orchestrating it, not doing it. So the 20-second technique, as I bring up my timer here, just 20 seconds. 20 seconds. That's the timer. There we go. Ooh, I'll just start the stopwatch in a second. 20 seconds where you talk in the present moment about anything and everything that's positive in your reality right now. Just 20 seconds. So any reference to, and this is wonderful because I didn't used to have it, any reference to the past, any reference to lack, any reference to anything negative, any yeah, buts, and whatever, it cancels out and you have to start the 20 seconds again.
Ooh, I love this game.
Oh, it's brilliant because honestly, people would start this course that I used to do quite tired or a bit negative, or, you know, the way people get on typically in Britain is that they moan about the weather. So if somebody comes in all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and says something fabulous and uplifting, and they're all moaning about the weather, then, as you know about rapport, they'll all pick on him or her, saying, they don't know how bad it is here. They're from sunnier climes. You know, we get people from all over the world. But once they started to do the 20-second technique, it evened the playing field because we were kind of forcing each other to pick on the hocus pocus of focus on whatever is going right now. Because we were saying a little earlier, Teresa, isn't it strange that all those things that we really, really wanted in the past and we've got now, we think, well, I've got that, so I don't need to focus upon it. I want to focus on the thing that is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready? I've given you a little.
I love this. And it totally aligns with the taking steps card. So good job, Jen.
Okay. So 20 seconds.
So I'm going first?
Yes, yes, please. 20-second technique where you just talk in the present tense about how wonderful everything is right now. And that time begins now.
Okay. So I kind of feel like this is an amazing exercise, and I am so excited to have this step, not only for myself, but to share. I feel that this would be an amazing uplifting exercise. I am sitting in my studio, which I adore, surrounded by my beautiful, inspiring things, talking to a very, very good friend, actually liking my hair today, by the way, which is nice, and planning to go get new couches for my space that I manifested out of thin air, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. I simply created a order. I want this couch. I want something I can cuddle with my husband. I want something that I can lie down on a couch. We have recliners, and I want a couch. I want to be able to lie down, to lounge, to watch TV, to have a nap on a couch, to kick my husband to the couch. And I have a couch coming.
Oh, wonderful. Now that was over a minute. And I didn't tell you, but I started it again after you, when you started very well. So then you put things into the future. I think this will be a really good technique. I think this will be. And then you really got into the essence of that which you've manifested already. And the glorification of it. In that, this is what the hocus of pocus really is, folks, and that's why we want to bring these things to life now. And thank you, Teresa, because we can talk as much as we like about these techniques, but actually doing it, what you did there, you transitioned from what you already have, what you're surrounded with, what you have right now, into that you want that isn't yet physically present in your house. Though instead of talking about the lack of it, so I knew you'd be good at this, you talked about how the presence of that thing is going to enhance your experience. Cuddling up with your husband, how it's going to be, all the essence. You work with essence. And you know, Teresa, also, I was playing back some videos earlier, and I thought, you did this very highbrow, metaphysical meditation thing without even knowing. I do this one, and you did it. You said, I did that yesterday, Jennie. I had a client, and she wanted to be like this. So I imagined that there were 3 bubbles. I got her to imagine 3 bubbles. She was the one bubble, and then there was these other 2 bubbles, and they all came together. Well, I do this thing where there's spheres. So one of the spheres, we don't usually explain it to people, but we will now. The one sphere represents you. The next sphere, so you're a sphere of light, and the other sphere represents the essence of that which you want. And the third sphere represents essence itself, the one source. So therefore, you, one sphere, the thing you want, the other sphere, and the main sphere is source itself, energy of all that is. So when those 3 are combined, which has to happen for anything to manifest, you associate with the essence of the thing that you want, your essence, its essence, and the essence of creation itself. That's what co-creation is. So these 3 spheres of light, if you like, that vibration, you're working with the cosmos. You are identifying with the essence of that which you want, how it's going to make you feel. This is the true identifying with this thing that we now want to draw to us, how it's going to make us feel. The qualities of being there are the steps to getting there. So in associating with the lack of it, people distance themselves from the essence of it. All they can think about is the absence of it. And I want this thing, everything would be so much better if I had. Oh, tell me, how will it be? How will it be when you have this thing? Well, I don't have it. Well, how is it going to be when you've got it? How is it going to affect your well-being? How is it going to enhance? We're working with desire. We're working with the essence of it, not the tangibility, not the nuts and bolts of the physical thing. So you just flowed into the essence of it and how it's going to enhance your well-being, which is wonderful.
I adore you. You're so good at explaining stuff that I don't have any idea why I do it. I just do it. Like, I cannot express how awesome you are.
Thank you. I'm taking compliments.
Well, it's lovely because it's like they gave me the actions and you the words.
What a team.
What a team. It makes me cry. Thanks, Jen.
Oh, bless. Thank you.
Such a cool thing. Okay, your turn.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, gosh, my turn. You're going to time me, are you?
Okay, I can time you. Love you.
Okay. Woo. Hey,
Okay.
Here I go.
Okay, hold on. I got to find my clock. And the time starts now.
I am so happy, so appreciative of this very space and opportunity now to share with you and with others everything that has gone before, that has worked for me, that has not worked for me, that is working better for me now, and being able to have that experience, this experience right here, right now, of transmitting myself through the pixels to get feedback, not just now, but in my future self thanks you for watching this video and for being able to comment and for being able to communicate, to have this opportunity to commune with like-minded people. I just love the fact that there are people in my reality right now that I can communicate with on this particular level. And I thank everything that has gone before, even that stuff that I didn't really appreciate at the time, which has led me to this moment. I appreciate now having a lovely warm cup of tea and allowing myself to present Teresa alone on the wonderful screen in front of us whilst I went and topped up my lovely warm tea. So I'm glad now that I have the ability and the responsibility to care for myself more, and as each passing day reminds me of how important that is. And I'm really resonating with the vibe of taking care of oneself, which enables us to take care of others more and to give when we have an abundance to give. And when we do not have that abundance to give to others, to give to ourselves first. Because more or less, as time goes on, and as we learn these wonderful techniques, we have an abundance of something that we just willingly and wanting to give to others, to share from that abundance of self rather than from a desperation to make them happy. I've learned that the hard way, and now I learn it more with ease and flow every single moment of every day. I am so pleased with what's gone before and reminded my body to shut up and see how well I've done with the 20-second technique.
Right. Okay, so that was 2 minutes, but you used the gone before and in the future twice. But do you notice the word is gone before?
Wow. Wow.
Some of you won't get this because this isn't a joke, but this is a revelation for Jennie and I.
Woo!
I love that.
I don't mind you explaining if you want to. I know I've got to shut up a bit now because my throat told me to.
No, but your throat didn't tell you to shut up. Your throat told you the gone before, the past is the sore points.
Yes. Oh, I see life's full of coincidences, folks. Synchronicity is happening all the time.
Yes.
There's even this scientific proof now that our reticular activating system, they call it the RAS, that we are more likely to notice things in our reality once we are focused upon them. If you want a particular car, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Usually when
this is such a fact. What you focus on expands. I see this every single day.
Yeah.
Okay, Jennie, we've talked forever and a day. We have talked a long time. I do think your throat is telling us something else, though. It's your body sends you messages, folks. We'll get into that. Maybe we'll play with that next Saturday about how your body sends you messages and the importance of it, and how it relates to your reality and where you're going.
Oh, that's spooky, because I know you haven't read the book. Now, I know you love the book because I've told you all about it, and I know you spend time helping all these people, and so this is one of the reasons why we do this, so we can shortcut the book and I can tell you all the stuff about it. The trial 4, which is next week's one, is called the Reveal and Deal trial, which is exactly that. And guess what the phrase is for this? There's none so blind as those that don't want to see.
Ooh.
It's about dealing with the fears that come up and moving forward, moving through them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Fears aren't coming to stop us, folks. They're coming to help us pause, reflect, and heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved what you said last week about moving through, because I think that's often what we do. And another wonderful speaker here on Glorious YouTube and Facebook said a similar thing, that if you're traveling from one place to another, let's use that metaphor. Let's say, what's a place that you might like to go to there in Canada? That's not it's quite far away, but you could get there in a day.
Penticton. Penticton.
Penticton.
Yeah.
And what's kind of halfway between where you are and...
I have no idea.
Okay.
Let's say Harrison. Okay.
Harrison. Okay. So this metaphor works really well because it's a real thing. People have done this. Let's say, I'm going to make you do it as well. Save my throat. There we go. Poor me. So I'm going to ask you to do it because, again, you did the 20-second exercise, and I know this is a wonderful exercise to end on for people to do for themselves. So you know where you are and you know where you want to go. So this is the metaphor. You know where the place is that you are and the place that you desire to go to. And you've got a kind of midpoint of Harrison. So in a moment, you can talk about going to the place you want to go, though getting to Harrison, and because you're not at the place you want to be at, thinking, I don't know but if this other place is part of my fantasy or if it actually exists or not. It doesn't seem to be close to me. I'm in Harrison. Oh, I really think I ought to turn back. I'm not really sure. I don't even know what this place is going to be like, if it's real or if it's imagined. People tell me how wonderful it is. I've never been. And that you don't realize that you're halfway. So step back to where you started from. And then a few weeks later, you think, oh, that desire rises in you again. I really want to go to this place.
Penticton. I knew you forgot.
You go so far, you get to Harrison again. So it's still not here. I might as well go home. And so the journey from where you are to where you want to get to takes years because you keep setting out to go there. You never get there, and you often turn back.
Give up halfway there. Oh, I love it. This is so true. And it gets the toughest when you're about halfway there. It's really when they're like, are you sure you want to do this? And that's when you need to push through. That's when you need to break through.
And you might have to go through some dodgy towns before you get to the paradise that you want to get to. Yeah. And it's all a hope, isn't it? It's all a map of reality, because if you've never actually been there, it's just a promise that somebody else has told you how wonderful it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't experienced it yet. You don't really know things until you experience them with your physicality, with your senses, with everything that you are. You're just trusting that somebody else has told you, even if it's the internet, that there's this wonderful place. But you've got to go through some dodgy towns. You get to the dodgy towns and you just want to go back to comfort rather than moving on through. And that's what fears are like, isn't it? Moving on through. Moving on through.
Yep.
Moving on through.
You are amazing, Jenny. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this episode today. It was absolutely incredible. Totally different, of course. Surprise. Anything I do. Expect the unexpected when it comes to my events. I got to tell you that. It is the title of the theme, the everything. Expect the unexpected. But this was lovely, and we will do it again next Saturday, probably at the 8 a.m. time, though, because I'm getting a little bit busy on my weekends. So we'll be earlier, and if you guys can't make it, that's cool. Well, Jenny and I'll just talk, and you'll watch the replay.
Just notice what you're beaming out. Do the 20-second technique for yourself, but get somebody else to measure it.
Yeah, I agree. And also, getting, if and when you get value out of this. People have been sending me messages and I love it. So please continue to send the messages, share your experiences. I absolutely adore them. And again, for this episode only, if you have a comment, you need some help, reach out and I will answer you. And Danny joined us. Thank you. So there was people watching. They were shy this morning. They were waking up. They were still coming into their coffees. Excellent. Okay, Jenny, thank you so very much, sweetie. We'll see everybody next week. Take care.
Yes, for the reveal and deal episode.
We need like a signing off, like a Walter Cronkite idea. This is Jenny and Teresa signing off. Oh, God, no, don't bring up the lobster.
It's somewhere there, isn't it? I'm going to play the lobster. I
apologize, all.
I've forgotten how to turn him on.
I don't know, but if I could cut you off, I would, Jen. I love you.
Tune in next week to hear how the lobster sounds.
How about live free and shine your light? Hey, time to shine, baby. It's time to shine. That's all it is. That's our sign now. It is your time.
Song, don't we? Okay. Yeah. Bye then.
Bye.
See you next time.